So I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that it's never been easier for composers to enter the music market with so many social resources readily available. The bad news is that because it's so easy to get started and share your music online, the market is just incredibly saturated. And that means that your music alone isn't gonna be enough to actually set you apart. So that's where the XYZ Composer Formula comes in. It's a super effective and easy tool that I use to help composers intentionally set themselves apart, how they can stand out, and actually connect on a deeper level with their target audience. The formula itself is super simple. It's I help X achieve Y by offering Z. This is meant to be just a straightforward structure that's easy to remember, but it also encourages composers to reflect on their unique strengths, the value that they offer, and who it is that they want to help. Now, the first step of the formula is X. It's defining who your target audience actually is. Are they specifically filmmakers, game developers, producers, or even other composers? I found that by narrowing down your focus, you can actually tailor your message that you want to get across or the offer or value that you're creating to that specific group. So if the audience is filmmakers, they're specifically looking for music for their movie, for their documentaries, short films. Game developers might be looking for music that can naturally and seamlessly kind of weave itself and integrate throughout the player experience. Another example could be licensing companies, so getting your music up and distributed through music libraries. Or maybe you are specifically looking to connect with other composers and other musicians. A lot of what I do is dedicated to helping composers kind of move a step further along in their career. How can they connect with others? How can I show off tutorials? Are there any resources I can recommend? By better understanding and actually acknowledging who it is you specifically want to help, you can cater your music, your messaging, your branding a whole lot more effectively. Now, the why in the formula is specifically what transformation can you provide? Now that you know exactly who your target audience is, you have to think about what is the transformative benefit that they're looking for? Is it emotional? Is it professional? Is it social? Now, when thinking about a transformation, what it is you actually provide, this can be anything that helps a client, a customer, a fellow musician, anything that you can do to get them from one place to another. So can your music evoke just a deep emotional response? You're really good at creating something for a character or a scenario. Maybe you have a knack for making a scene just feel a little bit more memorable. Or even on the other end, maybe you are really good at creating just like background, atmospheric, ambient type music, something that blends really well with the scene without even being too overshadowing. Are you good at taking a step back from the music and letting the piece, the project shine? Remember, the equation is I help X, the target audience, the people who I definitely want to focus in on, and you help them achieve Y, their dream outcome, their transformation. What is the benefit? And that's going to lead us into Z, the last part of the equation that actually makes you stand out. Z is understanding what is your unique method. What makes your approach different from everybody else? Maybe you have like a signature sound, or you're really good at incorporating an instrument that you play into your music. This might be the hardest part, but it's also the most effective because you have to sit down and think, what is it about my music and me as a composer, as a musician, that actually can stand out? Maybe you're really innovative with technology and you've been creating your own sound since you were a teenager. You love exploring, you love just recording and capturing the most unique and interesting sounds. And maybe the way you blend that with traditional instruments or an orchestra is exactly what makes you stand out. Or it could be that you have a passion for learning about different cultures of the world. You might be really good at taking these different instruments and rhythms and incorporating them into your music in a way that authentically represents the culture. You might even be an extremely effective communicator. How do you connect with the client? What do you do that makes them feel like they're being heard? Are you open to new ideas? Are you adaptable? Are you easy to work with? Your Z, your unique method, might be the hardest part of this equation, but it's likely the thing that comes naturally to you, that you might not even recognize is your strength, but I can almost guarantee that this is the thing that's gonna help you stand out. Now, if you're a composer who needs help identifying your unique strengths, then definitely check out my Composer Odyssey Index. This is a quiz that I put together specifically for musicians who wanna learn how they value different strengths. The assessment is completely free, so if you do need some help figuring out which strengths you wanna lean into, then definitely check out the link in the description down below. Now, let's say we wanna put it all together. What would your XYZ Composer Formula look like? One example could be I help game developers create immersive worlds by blending world instruments with digital sounds. Or it could be I help sample developers promote their latest library by creating deep dive tutorials and highlighting different workflows. Or another one could be I help other composers connect with potential clients by promoting networking techniques that they don't teach you in music school. I really like this formula because it just demystifies the whole process of trying to stand out. What's your niche? What do you do? And it makes you think beyond just, I write music, I'm a film composer. It really makes you think in terms of these XYZ components and encourages you to reflect on your values that you can bring to the industry. I always hear people ask, how do I stand out? What can I do to be different? And honestly, it's not just about the music anymore. The music is expected to be great. Instead, it's about you and your story and the value that you bring to others. And that's what makes the XYZ formula so effective, because you can break down such a big, scary concept into 3 actionable things that you can reflect on. Now, don't forget to check out the Composer Odyssey Index if you need a little bit more help just recognizing those strengths. And if you want to learn more about how to navigate your composing career or when to say yes or no to different projects, then make sure you check out my composing career playlist here. I will see you over there, and as always, happy composing.